Good morning, student. I am Joginder Kumar. Here, this is class 9th, and chapter is Pastoralists in the Modern World. We have to start our video. This is the first video of this chapter. Student, here we will discuss about the pastoralist community living in India. So, now we will discuss first the mountainous regions pastoralist community. These are the Gujjar Bakkarwal. Gujjar Bakkarwals live in Jammu and Kashmir. They move during the seasons, like in the winter, they move towards the low hills of Shivaliks. And in summer season, they move towards the upward of the hills of Shivaliks. Because of when it comes the winter, they move to the low hills because of there are grazing lands available, and due to the winter, the harsh climatic conditions differ from the valley regions upward the hills. So they move to the low hills area in winter season, and in summer season, when it was seen the smelting of the ice, they moved up towards the hills. So there are found the grass everywhere, which is very suitable and nourished for their cattle. So, and now the Gaddi shepherds live in Jammu and in Himachal Pradesh. They move from the lower hills of Himachal and goes up to the top hills of the Himalayas. So, in the different areas of the mountains, Gaddi shepherd of Himachal Pradesh, similar cycle of seasonal movement they follow. They to spend their winter in the low hills of Shivalik, grazing their flocks and the scrubs forest. By April, they moved north and spent the summer in Lahore and Spiti. When the snow melt and high passes were clear, many of them moved on the higher mountains. So, the meadows are full of grass in summer season. By September, they began to return from their movement. On the way, they stopped once again in the villages of Lahul and Spiti, reaping their summer harvest and sowing their winter crop. Now we will see the Uttrakhand area's pastoralist community. In the Uttrakhand, Garhwal and Kumayu are the areas of Gujjar cattle herder. In the Bhabar areas, also they graze their cattle. In Bugyals, which is a meadow, means the grass area, in summer they graze their cattle up the hills. They move from Jammu to the UP hills or the Uttarakhand hills here because of they moved here from 19th century, and they are living till then here. This pattern of cyclic movement between the summer and the winter pastures, the typical of the many pastoralist community of the Himalayas, including the Bhotias, Sherpas and Kinnori. All of them had adjusted to seasonal changes and make effective use of available pastures in the different places. When the pastures were exhausted or unusable in one place, they moved their herds and the flocks to the new areas. In the picture, you can see these are the Gujjar's houses in the hills areas. Here, their rearing flocks live here. Now we'll discuss about the pastoralist community of plateau regions. Dhangars. Dhangar are the important pastoralist community of Maharashtra. In the early 20th century, their population in this region was estimated 4,67,000. Most of them were shepherd, were blanket weaver, and still other were buffalo herders. Dhangars shepherd stayed in the central plateau of Maharashtra during the monsoon. By October, the Dhangar harvested their bajra and started on their move to west. After a march of about a month, they reached to the Konkan. This was a flourishing agriculture tract with the high rainfall and rich soil. Here, the shepherd were welcomed by the Konkani peasant after the Kharif harvest was cut. At this time, the field had to be fertilized and made ready for the Rabi harvest. Dhangar flocks manured the field and fed on the stubbles. The Konkani peasant also gave the supplies of rice which the shepherd took back to the plateau where the grain was scarce. So now we will discuss about the Rakas community. You can see in the picture, these are the Rakas. These are the herders of Rakas. And this is the area of the desert. You can see camels are most here. It also, these are the Rakas shepherd communities people. This is the fair of Puskar, where the Rakas brings their flocks for sailing here. This is the karma or the kafila of the Rakas. They are moving from one place to another. Now we will discuss about some fact of the Rakas. Raka live in the Thar Desert areas. This is the dry and hot area of Rajasthan where they lived. The rainfall in the region was merge and uncertain. On the cultivated land, harvested fluctuate every year. Over vast stretches, no crop could be grown. So the Rakas combine cultivation with the pastoralism. During the monsoon, the Rakas of Badmer, Jaisalmer, Jodhpur and Bikaner stayed in their home villages where the pasture was available. By October, when these grazing grounds were dry and exhausted, they moved out in search of the pasture and water, return again during the next monsoon. One group of Rakas, known as the Maru Rakas, herds camels, and another group reared sheep and goat. So, we have seen the life of the pastoralist community here. They had judged how the long and herds could stay in one area, know where they could move or where they live. Now we will discuss the political conditions of the pastoralist community in India, pre-colonial period, colonial period, and the post-independence period. Now you can see here, pre-colonial period, they had the high importance as the breeder. The social, economical, and physical exploitation started in some kingdoms. They were close to the decision makers due to their indigenous knowledge and skill. In the colonial period, they lost their importance. Their exploitation and ignorance at the highest or the height means they were very exploitative community at this time. Lost interest in the agrarian governance, their importance has lost it, or they have no importance in this period. After post-independence or the post-independence, nowhere in the political picture, कहीं भी नहीं दिखाई पड़ते हैं पॉलिटिकल पिक्चर्स में, किसी तरह की इम्पोर्टेंस है ही नहीं. नॉट अवर्दी, न ही किसी तरह से योग्य माने जाते हैं, क्योंकि उनके जो एरियाज़ हैं पूरी तरह से कैप्चर्स हो चुके हैं, श्रैंक हो चुके हैं, ख़त्म हो चुके हैं. कुछ लोगों ने अपने ऑक्यूपेशंस को ही चेंज कर लिया है. इस तरह से उनकी पूरी तरह से इम्पोर्टेंस और देयर पिक्चर्स हैव लॉस्ट इट. नॉट अ वर्दी कम्युनिटी फॉर अ पॉलिटिशियंस, किसी तरह का कोई पॉलिटिक्स के अंदर रिप्रेजेंटेशंस भी नहीं है. स्टेट एट्रोसिटी वेरी हाई, आउट ऑफ द पॉलिटिकल एंड और द कोऑपरेटिव मूवमेंट, देयर नो स्कोप फॉर देयर मूवमेंट in the after the post independence period. Now the colonial rule and the pastoralist life. Forest Act. When the Forest Act was made, under these acts many forests were declared. They were categorized also, like the reserved forest. Pastoralists were not allowed in the reserved forest for the moment. Some other forests were classified as the protected forest. They could not enter many areas, and entry to some other areas was restricted. In the next video, we will discuss many other effect or the effect, how they were affected.